Hey there folks, I am the Mighty Plantain. Thanks for checking out this video. I have got a beer from Brewery Ommegang. This is Gnommegang. My kid is obsessed with the gnomes. We've got some ugly ass shit up on the shelves here as a decoration in the house. So when I saw this, I had to pick it up. Ooh, excuse me. I don't know how many people have been kicked out of our local mini golf place for whacking the head off of a gnome with a golf club, but I'm one of them. Anyway, this is a Belgian-style blonde ale at 9.5% ABV. Ommegang OMG series. So apparently Ommegang has an OMG series that I was not aware of before now. Tons of different interesting art here. They look more like Smurfs than gnomes. We got Parachutey Smurf, Hoppy Smurf, Guitar Douche Smurf, Beer on Head Smurf, Surprised Smurf, Dog Paw Smurf, Basketball Smurf. Sorry, Gnome. Anyway, so the OMG series, Cooperstown, New York, is where Ommegang is. This might not be my first beer of the evening, folks, so forgive me if I get a little scatterbrained here, but the mischievous gnomes of Belgium Farmstead Brasier de Cliff are at it once again. They dropped by Brewery Ommegang and left behind a present of Schuft yeast for our brewing team here in Cooperstown, New York. Combining their yeast in the primary fermentation along with our recipe, our brewing techniques, and our yeast in the can conditioning yields a unique, flavorful, and aromatic dose of magic. If you know, you know. Alright, so 1 pint, 9.5% ABV. This is going to be a heavy beer. Now, they said can conditioning, which makes me think that there was live yeast in here when they put it in the can. That's typically what that means. Sometimes can conditioning can mean that certain flavors develop because you put like hops in there. Other times just means that there's fermentation continuing in the can. In this case, where they mentioned the yeast being responsible for it, I'm going to think that there was some fermentation happening in the can. Either way, the description on the label tells me that there's probably some particulates in here, which means I should go ahead and gently roll this can a few times before opening it. Now we're also going to do this, which provides a nucleation point by stirring up bubbles in there, and sometimes can prevent the beer from exploding after, or at least mitigate the explosiveness after a shaking event, which we didn't shake, we gently rolled, so it should be good. But just in case, we always do the tap, tap, tappity tap, just to be on the safe side, and open slowly. Oh, that isn't going to take much effort to put a head on that. Damn, that is an effervescent beer for sure. There's still some in the can, so we're gonna let this settle a little bit while we check it out. You can see particulates. There are flecks and flocks in there, as well as tons of bubbles. And the beer, no, maybe not. I think I'm just seeing bubbles. Holy crap. No, maybe there's some particulates floating around in there, but it's hard to tell because of all the bubbles. It's slightly cloudy, slightly hazy. So many particulates are nice and fine. It has a bit of a, I don't know, just a nice beer color to it. It's like a dark yellowish orange. More yellow down where the beer's thinner, more orange up top, but there's the delightfully foamy head. And yeah, I might have to revise my opinion on the particulates, because even in the very end there, when I redid the pour, there wasn't like a glop. There wasn't a yeast clot or anything like that. So okay, I take back what I said about particulates. I'm not seeing if they are in there, they're so fine and reflective that they look just like the bubbles, but there's a ton of bubbles in there. I'm loving the color too. This does a nice general beery aroma, but it could just be this gigantically thick fucking head on it. Light and grainy. Maybe a hint of fruitiness and citrus. Not sure, but 9.5%. Holy shit! Oh, there it is. Let's say you don't taste any sort of alcoholic booziness until the finish and the aftertaste. It kind of comes back around. Up front though, nice light to medium light mouthfeel. There's some serious earthy dankness to it with a hint of a metallic character. That's something. I think it's supposed to be partially hoppy, but not Belgian-style blonde ale. And of course, there's hops in it, but it's, I'm gonna say medium light mouthfeel. I'm gonna go with that. Medium light, definitively. It's weird. It's almost like there's a sourness, a Belgian-style sourness to it at the very tip of your tongue at first, but it rapidly goes away. So it's like kind of there, but then it gives way to that earthy, almost metallic dankness that I was getting, and then there's like a grassy finish to it, which is again weird because it doesn't really mention a huge amount of hops in here, and with a blonde you're not having a heavily roasted malt that's going to give it any sort of roasty notes similar to hoppy bitterness or anything like that. So it's weird that I'm getting that, but that's definitely what I'm getting. Pardon. I mean, it's got my attention. That weird, almost slightly sourness up front. Definitely reminiscent of Belgian style. The earthy dankness. There's almost like a vegetative, and maybe this is the earthiness lending itself to a dirt, not in an unpleasant way, mind you, but like a dirt character that's making me think of root vegetables. Weird, I know. But this is what I'm getting. And there's that booziness that I was getting in the finish at first is basically gone now. So that's interesting too. It's good. It's just all around good, easy drinking, and I don't know what to fucking think of it, honestly. I don't know what I expected going in, but I know what I'm getting out of it, and it seems weird for a Belgian style blonde for me to get the tasting notes that I am. So there you have it. I mean, it is what it is. I'm hitting this with a 5 out of 5 because it was just a random buy. Because, yes, it's getting points for this, by the way. It was a random buy based on the the quirky name, Gnommegang, and the can art got my attention. But it's also getting a lot of points for just impressing me and blowing me away with this weird, unexpected flavor that I'm getting from a Belgian-style blonde that tastes like an earthy, metallic, dank root vegetable with a weird sour up front taste and a boozy finish that went away. At 9.5%, this beer has no business being as smooth as it is. Again, I got it up front in terms of the, I got it at first as I was drinking the beer in the finish, but now nothing. So I'm impressed, and it's kind of, like I said, taken me by surprise completely, and that's why I'm hitting with a 5 out of 5 today. Hit me up down below. Pardon, in the comments or the email link. I'd love to hear what you have to say about Gnommegang. Where you rated it, what kind of flavor experience you're getting. Oh, look, there's Frisbee Smurf and Hop Paddle Smurf. So if they're not going to talk about the hops in the flavor, why? Well, it's not necessarily a hop paddle. It's a brewer's stirring paddle, whatever. All right, never mind. I'm done. That fucking Rick Sanchez Smurf there. Rick Sanchez. Oh my. Anyway, let me know what you think of this beer. I am especially interested in hearing your flavor experience. Am I completely off my rocker? Did the beer I had previous to this, influence somehow my flavor experience on this? I do cleanse with water in between beers thoroughly, but sometimes, that kind of taste lingers. So just prior to this, I had the Blackwater Mocha, Southern Tier's Blackwater Imperial Stout Mocha. So maybe that influenced it, but the flavor profiles that I'm getting out of this versus what that had are very different. But again, there could be some influence. Anyway, let me know what you think of this beer. Let me know what flavors you got. While you're down there, don't forget to like and share the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Till next time, folks, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.